Just follow your passion is terrible career advice. Just follow the money. Also not good. A career advice falls typically into two camps. The first camp is what I would call the university commencement speech camp, which is, hey, look, just follow what you're passionate about and everything will work out fine. Listen to your inner voice, be your authentic self. It's all very, very inspiring and deeply flawed. And the second type of advice is what I call the parental advice. This is the conservative advice to go get the best job you possibly can that provides the most career stability. This is very practical advice, but also seriously flawed. The reality is it is not that simple, okay? So just to illustrate, think about the marriages that you have observed that are based solely on passion. How'd that work out, right? Train wreck. What about the marriages that were solely based on the money? Someone married someone else just for the money. Disaster, right? Why am I comparing your work to a marriage? It's because in your life, if you are married, you are likely to spend way more time with your job than you are with your spouse and children. So think about how thoughtful you would be in selecting a spouse. You're going to spend more time at work. So it is not crazy to spend a lot of time thinking about what work is uniquely suited to you. And I think there's a way to do it. There are three things you really need to consider when figuring out what work is for you. And this is not about quitting your job or doing something dramatically different. This is about, in your current job, adjusting your work to where you're doing more work that is suited to you and less work that is not. Okay, so finding meaningful work is a function of doing three things, really answering three questions. And you've got to have all three, and I'll explain why. The first question that you have to ask yourself is, do I really enjoy doing this thing? Now, this doesn't have to be something you enjoy most in the world. If that was the case for me, it would be about watching movies in my basement, but that is not my career, right? But it has to be something you really enjoy doing. All right, the second question you have to ask and answer yes to is, do I have the potential to be really, really good at this thing? And I'm talking like top 20, 10%, right? The world is too competitive not to do what you're really good at. If you want to live up to your full career potential, you got to figure out what you have a knack for and what you don't. Let me give you an example. 12 years ago, I entered business school and decided that I was going to be a finance major. And I decided that because I was a communications undergrad and I thought, oh, I'm going to do something that I'm not that good at and I'm going to make myself like really good at it and round myself out, etc. For what? Within a week, I realized I was in the wrong place. Every one of those people, those finance majors, were meant to be finance majors. They were going to be really good at finance, and I was just going to be okay at finance. So I switched to marketing and realized immediately this is something I actually am pretty good at. So I doubled down on that and I got better at that. So you gotta figure out what you think you can be really good at and double down on it. Break the myths that you gotta do all this other stuff you're bad at for some reason to like round yourself out. No, double down on what you're good at. And the third and final question you have to ask yourself is there a market for this? In other words, can I make money at this thing? Okay, so those are the three things, and you have to have all three. Let me illustrate to you what happens if you have only two of the three. Okay, so let's suppose you have something that you are really good at and something that you really enjoy doing, but that there is no market for. That, my friends, is called a hobby. And hobbies are fantastic. It's great to have hobbies, but hobbies are not careers. Or let's suppose for a second you have something that you really enjoy doing and that there's a market for it, but you're not that great at it. That is called underliving your potential. You could take that job, you could be fine, but you probably won't get to the heights that you really want to if you're just not that great at it, even if you like it. Now, the third one is the trap most people fall into, which is something that there's a market for and they're good at, but they don't like doing it at all. They're miserable. That, my friends, is called accounting. Just kidding, my accounting friends, I love you. Thank you for doing my taxes. Please don't audit me. So, figuring out what type of work you're supposed to be doing every day, even at your current job, is about figuring out, do I like this thing? Am I really good at it? Or do I have the potential to be really good at it? And does the company reward this thing? Your sweet spot is at the center of answering yes to those three questions. Is it easy to figure out the right thing for you? No. but you only need one career. You don't need 20 careers, right? So it is worth it to be thoughtful about this to make sure that you are doing the right work that is uniquely suited to you. Thanks.